Tacoma. Welcome back to your third grade TV classroom. Today is Monday, December 14th. Let's get started with learning today. How are you? How was your weekend? Awesome. I had a great weekend too. Let's check our zone before we do anything and see if we're ready to learn. How is your brain feeling? How is your body feeling? What are your thoughts doing? What are your emotions? Go ahead and tell your learning buddy, what zone do you think you're in? Rafa, wait a minute. Rafa? No, Rafa, third grade. Oh, yes, it is third grade. It's not second grade. Third graders, how is my brain feeling? Wobbly. Oh my. Whew. It's going to be okay. We're going to make it through. Rafa, what do you think we should do? Maybe take 3 deep breaths. How about square breathing? I haven't done that in a while. Let's do some square breathing. Are you ready? I think I needed to get my brain to slow down. It was going too fast. Does your brain ever do that? All right. Rafa, I'm in the green zone now. I'm feeling ready to go. My brain is calm. Are you in the green zone? Let's get going. Please make sure you have your whiteboard and marker and your learning buddy. You will not need counters today. Now it's Make It Monday. It means we're going to think about the ways to make this number. What are some ways you can think of to make the number 599? Rafa, that's a great one. 600 minus 1. Very good. It's another way to make 599. 500 plus 90 plus 9. Okay. What's another way to make 599? There's lots of ways. What about 250 plus, what's 250 plus 99? 349. Ooh. Did you think of any other ways? Something you can do that I would love is if you found another way to make any of these numbers, to go ahead and write it down on a piece of paper, or if you have access to email, send us an email here at the TV classroom and tell us the ways you made 599. I cannot wait to see the ways that you are making these numbers. Same for this next number. Are you ready? 600. How might we make 600? 60 times 10? Ooh. What's another way we could make 600? 300 times 2? Pebble, that's a good one. What's another way we could make 600? 200 times 3? Fancy. 600 times 1? 500 plus 100? Oh my goodness, there are so many ways. I hope you send me some of your ways you thought of to make 600. Now, today we're learning how multiplication and division are related. Now, the last couple of lessons we talked about what division was. We divide, it's taking a quantity and splitting it into equal groups, or splitting it into groups and finding out how many equal groups we have or how many are in each group. But today we're going to take it one step further. We're going to talk about how they're related. And I want to take you back for a second before we look. And I want you to think about your fact families with addition and subtraction. I want you to think about part, whole. We have 2 parts, it makes a whole. If we have a whole and a part, we can find the other part. And those numbers are all related to each other. Do you remember that from first and second grade? When we have a whole, it's made up of parts, and we can subtract one of the parts and find the other part. We can put the two parts together and find the whole. And as long as we know the whole and the parts, we can add and subtract and use either one to help us figure out the part we don't know. Guess what? You can do the same thing with multiplication and division. We have a factor and a product, right? And then we've got our total and our divisor, and we find a thing called the quotient. And the quotient can either be the number of groups or the number in each group. So let's take a look and see if we can start to understand that relationship. It says, draw equal groups and an array to represent 3 times 6. So we're going to have two different kinds of drawings here. Line down the middle. One of them is going to be equal groups. What is 3 times 6? What does it mean, third graders? 3 groups of 6. So I'm going to have a group, right? I'll make those a little bigger so you can see them better. Right? Group of 6, group of 6, group of 6. Right? What does the array look like? You ready? 3 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Are you writing yours or drawing yours? You should be. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you notice? Yep, there's 3 groups of 6. Oh. Rafa, that's interesting. Rafa said the one on the left, Mrs. Wally, almost looks like you took a total quantity and you drew groups of 6 and got 3. Yeah, Pebble said, or I saw you draw it and you drew 3 groups and then you put 6 in each group. That kind of seems like division, but I was drawing multiplication. They are related. They're similar. We use them to help us find the thing we don't know. For this one, what was I trying to find? 3 groups of 6. I was trying to find the total quantity, all of it, right? I don't know that number. 3 times 6 equals, and I could count it up and I would get 18. But what if I had 18 and I was putting it into 3 groups? What number would I be trying to find in this family? 6. Because 3 times 6 is 18. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Whoa. Is anyone having one of those moments where it's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea? That's fine. And if not yet, that's okay. We're going to keep talking about it. We'll see if we can start to uncover it for you. All right. So how are multiplication and division related? It's like saying, how are you related to your sister? Or how are you related to your uncle? Or how are you related to whoever it is, right? What's the thing that's similar? How are multiplication and division related? Yes, I just heard someone say, well, if we look back here, in multiplication and division, we have groups with the same amount in each group. Both things deal with groups and numbers in each group. Yeah. How are they different? In multiplication, we're trying to find the total quantity. And in division, we're trying to find the number of groups or how many in each group. Okay, here we go. Draw an array of 4 rows of 3 pennies. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get some counters. And we're going to use our whiteboard. And we're going to build it. Okay? So go ahead and get your whiteboard out. We're going to build this problem. So it says 4 rows of 3 pennies. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do you have it built or drawn if you don't have anything to build with? Okay, what's the multiplication equation for this array? What would we write as the multiplication equation? Go ahead and write it. Yeah, 4 groups of 3, right? We have 4 groups and 3 in each group. I'm gonna, we can't see that. Can I lift this up, Mr. Kevin? Yes. Let's see. Okay, friends, that's a little bit better. There we go. I'm gonna slide this down a little bit. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. 4 groups of 3 is the same as how much? What's our total quantity here? 12. Very good. It says, now break your array into 4 equal groups. Well, 1, 2, 3. There's my groups. Do you see them? So I have how much? 12. And I broke it into 4 equal groups. How many were in each group? 3. If 4 times 3 is 12, then 12 divided by 4 is 3. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go back to our slide. So it says, what 3 numbers do both equations use? We had 4 times 3 equals 12. What did these numbers mean? Well, 4 was the number of groups. Yep, 3 was the number in each group. And 12 was the total quantity. Total quantity, number of groups, number in each group. Sounds like I could multiply or divide with that information. The result of division is called the quotient. Say quotient with me. Quotient. A quotient is either the number of groups or the number in each group. It depends on what you're trying to find with division. So we did a division equation with our array. It was 12 divided into 4 groups equals 3 in each group. Which number, go ahead and write that on your whiteboard, which number is the quotient? The result of dividing. That means when I take my total quantity and I divide it, and in this case, I divided it into 4 groups, what was the result? What did we find? Result means what did we find? Yeah, 3. 3 in each group. Now let's write the multiplication equation. 4 times 3 equals 12. Circle the same number. Did we circle the factor or the product? Yeah, we circled one of the factors. Factor times a factor equals a product. Number of groups, number in each group equals the total quantity, just like part, whole. Right? Oh. So the factors are the parts that tell us how many groups or how many in each group. And a quotient is going to be one of the factors in the related multiplication problem. Whoa. You might be going, I don't know about that, Mrs. Wally. That's okay. Or you may be going, that is so cool. I never realized that. And that's okay too. This is brand new for us. Let's do another problem. Nick buys 20 stickers. He puts the same number of stickers on each 5 pages in his scrapbook. Draw the stickers Nick puts on the pages. Write a division and multiplication equation for the problem. All right. So we have how many? 5 pages. And how many stickers total? 20. So let's start sharing them out. Go ahead and draw 5 boxes on your whiteboard. And let's share out those stickers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What did we do? We took this quantity of 20. Go ahead, write that on your board. And we divided it or split it up into how many groups? 5 groups. And what did our quotient or answer or result end up being? How many in each group? 4. Now look at that picture. What do you see? 5 groups of 4. Write that multiplication equation. 5 groups of 4 equals 20. Circle the quotient in your division equation. Circle the same number in your multiplication equation. Oh, look at that. It's one of the factors of your multiplication. Pretty cool. Explain how you could use a multiplication equation to find 20 divided by 5. Whoops. Think back to what we did with addition and subtraction. Well, I know that 5 groups of 4 is 20. 5 times something equals 20. What is it? If you know your facts, it makes this really quick. 5 times 4 equals 20. Well, if 5 times 4 equals 20, I know that the quotient or the result of division is the missing factor. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. Done. Whoa. We're going to keep working with this. So, we've been talking about how division is the reverse of multiplication. With multiplication, we're trying to find the total quantity. And with division, we're taking that total quantity and figuring out how many groups or how many in each group. Multiplication is groups of an amount, and we're finding the total quantity. Division is taking that total quantity and figuring out either the groups or the amount in each group. Division seems scary at first, but when you learn that, it's like, oh, well, that's not so bad because I understand multiplication, so I know I can understand division. Here's your assignment today. This is the first time we've ever done this. If you're feeling like, I don't get that, Mrs. Wally, not yet. That's really okay. And that's an okay place to be. We're going to continue working on this. So I do not expect you to be like, oh yes, I understand. It's the first time we've talked about it, but I want you to start to think about it. And as you're doing things today, I want you to be just really be thinking, how is that related? Maybe build some things and really talk about it and see if you can figure it out. So you're going to do page 241 and 242, similar problems to what we already did today. Do we explain multiplication? Do we explain division? Did we model and start to talk about how they were related? Yes, then we did our learning job today. that learning target, man, I needed to reread that. Today we learned how multiplication and division are related. That didn't work. We learned how multiplication and division are related. I'm going to have to go back and change that. Sometimes even teachers make mistakes, and that's okay. Great job today, third graders. Now, before you go for your break, which I do believe it's probably another break with Mr. Wood today, you are going to make sure you have your ELA packet, your pencil, and your learning buddy ready to go for Miss Oslin. All right? Have a great break, and I will see you tomorrow, third graders. Bye.
Greetings, young adventurers. You will be going on a quest. It will be a dangerous quest, filled with obstacles and dangerous creatures. Should you make it to the end of each level, you will receive a coin. Find all 4 coins, and you will be crowned the champion and receive this prize. Good luck, young adventurers. Well, time for my nap. Good day, young adventurers, and good luck. Greetings, young adventurers. Congratulations on collecting all 4 coins. Well done. By completing this quest, you will now receive your prize. I hope to one day see you again for another adventure. Goodbye, young adventurers.
Hi, Tacoma. Welcome back from your break. I hope you had an opportunity to take care of your needs and gather your materials. Today, we're going to be continuing to talk about our social emotional learning. That's where we're talking about how to monitor ourselves and think about how we interact with other people. So you are really going to need your learning buddy today. So make sure you have one close by. You'll remember our 3 personal standards. We kind of took a break from talking about these, but we're going to bring them back because I think it's important for us to be in agreement for how we behave and act when we come together, even though we're in a virtual classroom. You'll remember your 3 personal standards are show respect, make good decisions, solve problems. Today we're learning to understand and use the conflict solver of apologizing. We've been talking about sharing, taking turns, fixing the problem, asking for help. Today we're going to talk about apologizing, and we're going to learn the difference between a 1-person and a 2-person apology. And this was new learning for me when I was preparing this lesson. So, I want you to pretend that I am an alien from planet Rude. This is planet Rude. This is my home planet. On planet Rude, we don't apologize. We don't say sorry. Now, 3rd graders, we're here on Earth where we apologize. Stop and think about what are some things that you apologize for. Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what is something that you apologize for. Rafa, just this morning, I apologized to my son because he was talking and I interrupted him, and so I needed to apologize. You might have said something along the lines of, if you do something and you didn't mean to do it, you still have to apologize, like I did with my son. I didn't mean to interrupt him, but I still need to apologize. We also apologize if we hurt someone or hurt someone's feelings or if we break something. Those are all reasons to apologize. So, why do Earthlings, that's people who live on Earth, why do Earthlings apologize to one another? And how does apologizing help friends stay friends? That's what we're going to do some thinking about today, and that's what you are going to do some writing about today. So let's read that big question one more time together. Why do Earthlings apologize to one another? And how does apologizing help friends stay friends? Let's do some think time right now about what we know about this question. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking about this question. Some of you already know quite a bit about apologizing. Keep all that in mind while we do some thinking and talking today. Now, here is a situation. I asked my friend Rafa if I could borrow one of his crayons for a project. So I was coloring, and the crayon broke. And we talked about how sometimes you do something, even when it's an accident, we still need to apologize if it hurt someone or hurt someone's feelings or broke something that belongs to them. So I need to apologize to Rafa. Rafa, your crayon broke. Here it is. What do you think about that? Was that a sincere, appropriate apology? Or can I do better? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Rafa, that was not my best apology. I was not sincere. I didn't really mean it. Although I did say what I was apologizing for. The way you apologize matters. Saying, sorry, your crayon broke, when you're kind of going like this, and that is not how we apologize. When we apologize, we need to look the person in the eye, use a sincere voice, say what we're apologizing for. How to give an apology. There are guidelines. There's a way to apologize. First, you speak clearly so the person can understand and hear you. Because I've seen my kids do this. They're mumbling. You can't understand them. You make eye contact, which means you look the person in the eye. You say the person's name. And you say what you're apologizing for. So I'm going to try my apology with Rafa again. This time I'm going to speak clearly. I'm going to make eye contact. I'm going to say the person's name. And I'm going to say what I'm apologizing for. And I should also have on here with a sincere voice. Rafa, I'm sorry I broke your crayon. How did I do that time? Did I speak clearly? Did I make eye contact? Did I say Rafa's name? And did I say what I was apologizing for? That was better. Now that I've apologized to Rafa, what happens next? What does Rafa do? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy, what does the person who's receiving the apology do next? Oh, some of you know this already. The person can say, thank you for apologizing. Or if you're ready, you could say, I accept your apology. But sometimes someone does something and it makes me really mad, and I'm not ready yet to accept that apology, and that's okay. But I still need to recognize that they have apologized by saying, thank you for apologizing. Now, there are, like I said, some instances where just one person needs to apologize. Like with Rafa's crayon, he didn't have anything to apologize for. But there are times when there needs to be a two-person apology, which means both people need to apologize. So stop and think about when would be a time when we would need a two-person apology. Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Rafa, I was thinking back to our scenario with your crayon, that if I had broken your crayon and then you had said or done something to hurt me or my feelings, then we would both need to apologize to each other. You might have said something similar, where if both people have something to apologize for, that's when we use a two-person apology. We're going to listen or read some more scenarios, and I want you thinking and showing me with your fingers, is it a one-person apology or a two-person apology? Brittany scratches Tomas's favorite DVD and he punches her in the arm. Is this a one-person apology or a two-person apology? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Rafa, I think this is a two-person apology because Brittany needs to apologize for scratching Tomas's favorite DVD, but then Tomas needs to apologize for punching Brittany in the arm. Did you recognize that it's a two-person apology? Because both people did something, whether on purpose or accidental, to harm the other person. So in this situation, what could Tomas have done before he punched Brittany in the arm? He needs to stop and think and use the stop and stay cool steps. Then he can tell Brittany using an I message how he felt about her scratching his favorite DVD, and then they can use the peace path to solve the problem. But he punched her in the arm instead. So what should Brittany and Tomas's apologies sound and look like? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what an apology should look and sound like between Brittany and Tomas. Rafa, first, they both need to speak clearly. Second, they need to look the person in the eye. They need to use the person's name. And they need to say what they're apologizing for. So if I were Brittany and you were Tomas, I would look you in the eye. I'm going to speak clearly and say, Tomas, I'm sorry I scratched your favorite DVD. And then Tomas would say, you remembered, Rafa. Thank you for apologizing. Now that's one person. Now Tomas gets to apologize. So Tomas is going to look Brittany in the eye, speak clearly, use her name, and say what he's apologizing for. So he would say, Brittany, I'm sorry I punched you in the arm. And then Brittany would say, thank you for apologizing. That was a two-person apology because both people did something that they need to say they're sorry for. Let's look at another scenario. And this time think, is it a one-person apology or a two-person apology? Roberta reaches for the ketchup at lunch and knocks over Alicia's chocolate milk. Is that a one-person apology or a two-person apology? Some of you are showing me no, people. Why is that? Oh, because Roberta didn't mean to? Well, there was still an impact on someone else from her actions. So Roberta still needs to apologize. And Alicia doesn't have anything to apologize for. So this is a one-person apology. Think about what will Roberta's apology look and sound like. Take some think time. Now pretend that you're Roberta and your learning buddy is Alicia, and practice using the 4 steps to an appropriate apology. Alicia, I'm sorry I knocked over your milk, especially chocolate milk, because it's your favorite. Did you speak clearly? Did you look your learning buddy, who is Alicia, in the eye, use their name, and say what you're apologizing for? Then what does your learning buddy need to say? Thank you for apologizing. You're welcome. Now let's look at one more scenario. No, we're done. Done with scenarios. Go back to our big Q. Why do Earthlings apologize to one another? And how does apologizing help friends stay friends? Take some think time. turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Rafa, Earthlings apologize to one another when they have said or done something that harms or negatively impacts the other person. And how does apologizing help friends stay friends? Well, it's a sign of respect, and it shows the other person that I recognize that I did something that had a negative impact on you. And then we can move forward with our friendship. Now, you might have said or said something a little bit differently, and that's okay. That's what you're going to do for your independent writing today in your writing notebook, is write about why we apologize and how apologizing can help friends stay friends. When you are reading your biographies today, remember to check in with, are you understanding what you're reading, the entire text or just one word? And you can use this document to help you figure out how to better understand what you're reading. If you're reading and you find your brain start to think about something else and you need to refocus, remind yourself of some really important and strong how to stay focused strategies. Continue writing and documenting on your reading log what you're reading and how long you're reading for, and send this to your teacher at the end of every week so that they can keep in touch and know exactly what it is that you are working on. You can also send us here at TV Classroom any letters or pictures or anything communicating with us. We would love to hear from you. Oh, there's our email address. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. That's where you can send us emails, or at the end of the show, Mr. Kevin always puts up our address that you can mail us things in what we call the snail mail, and we will open up letters and share them here on TV Classroom. Now, to remind you of our upcoming special guests, on Wednesday, December 16th, we're going to share with you an amazing video from our Tacoma Fire Department crew number 1. We also, on Wednesday, January 6th, we'll have Tawana Nobles, who is the president and CEO of the Tacoma Urban League. She's also the director of the University Place School Board, and she's a Washington State Senator-elect, just elected into her position. We're really excited to hear from her and hear about her story. Now, it's time for our affirmation. This is the time where we remind ourselves of the good and positive things that we are doing. And our affirmation today is, I am a hard worker. Because you are. You just demonstrated how hard you work in math with Mrs. Wally, in PE with Mr. Wood, and then here with me doing some thinking and learning about apologizing. I am a hard worker. Your turn. Wonderful job today, third graders. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.